Hey there, restaurant recipe lovers. Welcome back to The Daily Dish, a Copycat.com podcast where I help you recreate your favorite restaurant dishes right in your own kitchen. I'm Stephanie Manley, and I have been recreating your favorite recipes since 1995. I'd like to start out by giving a heartfelt thank you to everyone who's been cooking up our recipes and sharing those wonderful photos on Instagram. Every time I see one of your creations tagged with Copycat recipes, it absolutely makes my day. For today's recipe, remember you can find the detailed instructions, measurements, and step-by-step photos on copycat.com. I've also included a direct link in today's show notes so you can easily access everything you need to make this dish a success at home. So today we are diving into the fast food favorite that's become increasingly expensive over the years as Taco Bell's Steak Quesadilla. This recipe holds a special place in my heart because, like many of you, I discovered it during my college days when I was on an extremely tight budget. That perfect combination of juicy seasoned steak, stretchy cheese, smoky chipotle sauce tucked inside of a crispy tortilla satisfied my cravings without breaking the bank. At least back then, as menu prices have climbed higher and higher, I spent weeks in my kitchen perfecting this copycat recipe that captures all those craveable flavors at literally a fraction of the cost. When you make this at home, you'll save anywhere from 60 to 70% compared to the drive-thru, and that adds up quickly, especially if you're feeding a family. Just think about it. For what you spend on 2 quesadillas at Taco Bell, you have enough to feed your entire household with this recipe, plus some leftovers for the next day. We are a family of 4, and oh my goodness, when we spend between $50 and $60 at Taco Bell, it just makes me want to cringe. I can remember back when we first ran through college, I could eat on $2 at Taco Bell, and you can't do that anymore. I know things have increased in prices quite a bit. But let's talk about why the Taco Bell's steak quesadilla is so irresistible. It's really the harmony of the 3 components: perfectly seasoned steak, the right cheese blend, and that signature creamy chipotle sauce. Each element plays an important role, and I've carefully reverse engineered each one to create an authentic copycat experience. Let's talk about the ingredients. For the chipotle sauce, you'll need sour cream, mayonnaise, chipotle peppers in adobo sauce, salt, black pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, and a touch of lime juice. The sauce is the secret weapon that makes these quesadillas taste like they came straight from Taco Bell. And here's a money-saving tip. When you buy chipotle peppers in adobo, you'll typically only use 1 or 2 peppers for this recipe. They usually come 2 ways. I've seen them in canned jars, and I've also seen them in glass jars that are already ground up. Now, I prefer the ones in the glass jar because I can just pop off the top, use what I need, screw the jar lid back on, and put them in the refrigerator. But the frozen ones, you can definitely freeze the peppers for later. You can put them in ice cube trays and then pop them into a plastic baggie and just take out what you need. Now, I recommend sirloin for the best balance of tenderness and flavor without breaking your budget. If you spot a good sale, don't hesitate to buy extra and freeze it specifically for this recipe. You'll season it with a blend of seasoned salt, black pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, chili powder, and smoked paprika, plus a little bit of vegetable oil to help make the seasoning stick. Most of these spices are probably already in your pantry, which helps keep the cost down even further. For assembly, you're going to need flour tortillas, a combination of Colby Jack and mozzarella cheeses. In this particular blend is crucial for that cheese pull, your seasoned steak, and the chipotle sauce we just talked about. I recommend buying a block of cheese and grating it yourself rather than pre-shredded varieties. Not only is it more economical, but freshly grated cheese melts so much better because it doesn't contain the anti-caking agents found in pre-packaged shredded cheeses. One of the things I love the most about this recipe is how adaptable it is for dietary needs and preferences. If you're watching your fat intake, you can use lean sirloin and light versions of sour cream and mayonnaise. For those of you avoiding red meat, you can easily substitute chicken or even a plant-based alternative while keeping the same delicious seasoning blend. For my gluten-sensitive friends, just swap in your favorite gluten-free tortillas. The rest of this recipe is naturally gluten-free. The process is straightforward. You're going to make your sauce and set it to the side. Then you're going to season and cook the steak to your preferred doneness. I like mine a little medium for that perfect balance of juiciness and texture. After letting the steak rest, which is crucial for keeping it tender, you'll slice it thinly against the grain. Now for the assembly. This is where the magic happens. The key technique that separates Restaurant quality quesadillas from homemade ones is using a clean, dry skillet, not adding any butter or oil to the pan. This creates a perfectly crispy exterior that Taco Bell is known for. Layer your cheese, your steak, and sauce on half the tortilla, fold it over, and then cook it until it is crispy on both sides. I recommend starting with the cheese on the bottom so it melts and it acts like glue, holding everything together when you bite it. For those of you who like to plan their weekly meals for maximum efficiency, you can turn this recipe into a fantastic cook once and eat twice option. When preparing your steak, make a double batch with the same seasonings. Use half for the quesadillas and save the rest for steak tacos, a hearty steak salad, or even steak and eggs for a weekend brunch. This kind of mindful meal planning is how a savvy home cook stretches their food budget without sacrificing flavor or variety. What I love most about this recipe is its versatility. Once you master the basic technique, you can create endless variations. Add in some sauteed peppers and onions for extra nutrition. Swap in different proteins, or even transform it into a breakfast quesadilla by adding scrambled eggs and those delicious cheesy fiesta potatoes that many of you have loved from my previous recipes. Of complete meals, this quesadilla pairs wonderfully with several other Taco Bell inspired recipes from the blog. Try serving it with my Copycat cinnamon twist for a sweet finish, or the refreshing pina colada frutista freeze for a complete Taco Bell experience at home. If you're hosting a casual get-together, set up a quesadilla bar with various fillings and let everyone create their own combination. It's always a crowd pleaser, and it's much more economical than catering. For busy weeknights, you can prep the components ahead of time. The sauce keeps beautifully in the refrigerator for up to a week, and you can cook and slice the steak up to 3 days ahead. Store everything in airtight containers, and assembly will take just minutes when you're ready to eat. Even fully assembled quesadillas can be refrigerated for up to 3 days. Just reheat them in a dry skillet and to restore that wonderful crispiness. I often make a batch on Sunday afternoon, so we have quick, delicious lunches ready to go for the early part of the week. Now, I hope you're inspired to try this money-saving Copycat Taco Bell steak quesadilla. Remember, you can always find the complete recipe either on copycat.com, or you can click on the show notes of this podcast for the direct link. With restaurant prices continually climbing, there's never been a better time to master these Copycat recipes at home. And stay tuned. My next episode is going to be Bucky's Brisket, and they make brisket sandwiches. They make a sliced brisket sandwich, a chopped brisket sandwich, brisket tacos, two ways, either just brisket or brisket and eggs. So I'm going to give you the lowdown on how to make those. So be sure to stay tuned. Until then, this is Stephanie Manley from Copycat.com, helping you bring the restaurant experience at home. Why go out when you can make it at home?